Hey, hey, hey.
What is happening?
Low network connection.
Oh, there we are. It's good.
Why are you tilting down?
I think it looks good now.
Alrighty. Here we are, Thursday. It is our weekly Q&A here on 585 Rent to Own. Did you little... There we go. All right. As you're tuning in, say hi. Certainly love to see who is here. If you have any questions, as always, drop them down below. We have our dog making an appearance today. There's our little chihuahua, Mini Pin. Hi, yes, send us some likes, some hearts. If you're tuning in, certainly just let us know that you are here. We are super excited to be here today. Really look forward to these. It's super fun to chat and answer questions. We absolutely... We go here. Oh, what is going on with your phone?
It's all right.
Okay.
All this wind coming up from our weekend storm.
Oh my word. Like, I can't... He said that we were getting snow, and I was like, yeah, I saw the freeze warning, and then I saw this actual huge storm, and like, are we talking inches or feet here in the 585? I don't know. But somebody did say that maybe the murder hornets would die.
Yeah, they're not going to stand a chance against our snow up here.
Our snowy ra-cha-cha weather.
There we go. I think this is good. Right?
I am not so sure about this, but I'll just roll with it.
Yeah, there you
Look
go.
at all your friends. We got Patrick, Leonard.
What's happening?
Hello. Awesome. Veronica, she's actually one of our
Success stories.
success stories.
Yeah, she's awesome. We love Veronica. Roxy,
Hi.
the whole family.
Yes. I still gotta get you your gift. This whole COVID thing. So we actually already have a question. So as always, please like and love anything that you're hearing, and also share. If you have just a quick second, hit the share button. The more people that you share it with, the more people that we can help. So that'd be absolutely awesome.
Right.
So our first question here, what are the qualifications to be able to rent to own? I want to, but I'm not familiar with the process.
So we actually went over that, I think, one of our other videos. That's a great question. That's actually probably one of the most common questions we have. Really, our qualifications are a little bit different than a bank's, where a bank's going to want you to have that high 600 to a 700 credit score. We don't mind if you have a much lower score than that. We've actually worked with folks who've got, in the 500 scores. So credit's really not tied to it. What's tied to it is obviously you're going to want to own a home. You're going to have some type of income or way to pay for the house. And then at that point, a down payment, which is crucial. And the down payment's based on the price of the house. We deal with all price ranges of houses, so it's going to be catered towards that. We have houses that are, $70,000, $80,000 at times. We've got houses that are going to be much more than that. So the down payment's going to be around that. And then we give you the time, and we're going to go over that actually shortly, but we're going to give you the time to fix whatever it is that's broken in order for you to get that mortgage. And it could be credit. Sometimes it's not credit. Sometimes it is time on job. Sometimes it's debt to income ratios. There's all different types of reasons why, self-employment even's a big one. So there's reasons why some folks can't get a mortgage, and we'll give you the time to get that done. So great question.
Yeah, and this is our fourth in our series here as far as Q&As. So we really went into depth about credit on the last one, I would say. And then the down payment, I see you've got a question here about that. So you could certainly rewatch those videos, but we'll kind of give you a brief rundown of what we've said already, because I know it's a super popular question, rightfully so. So again, should credit be certain amount or already have a down payment?
Credit's really not an issue. Your down payment's going to be important because over time we'll let you work on, like we said, whatever's holding you up. But if we work with folks, if you've got a decent down payment and you're ready to get that house, whether credit's letting you or not, that's what we can help you with. So if you have a down payment, come talk to us. Send us a message and we can link up together and we can go over some more of the particulars. Looks like we have our last house sold. It looks like that's going to be going on Monday. So, but we have a few that we're working on, a few coming up soon. So stay tuned to that for sure.
Yeah. Hi, Christina. Thanks again, everybody tuning in. Feel free to give us some hearts, and of course, share with your friends. The more people that you share with, the more people we can help.
Right.
One of my favorite questions came in, and it was, when did we get started in real estate? And it's kind of like a two-part answer, because in 2000, I didn't know this fine young gentleman.
Yeah, so actually I started, my first house was the year 2000. I closed on that. The first house I actually owned, I only owned it for half an hour. It was a wholesale deal, and I was 23 years old. It was December of 2000 actually. And since then, I just really fell in love with it. I had a lot of family in the past who's done real estate, but this was kind of my own first adventure on my own, and it worked out well. And I just kind of got hook, line, and sinker in love with it. And you love finding these pretty houses and getting somebody who's maybe hasn't had a house and giving them that American dream and putting them in a house. And sometimes you find a house that needs some love, and then you can make it that pretty house that once before was, kind of ugly. And that's fun on its own. So there's a lot of great things that help people along, and that's what I just really enjoy about it. So, and then...
But I was going to say, real quick here, with that deal, it wasn't what we ended up doing. Like, that was what you would call wholesaling?
That's a wholesale deal.
Yeah, so when you found the house, was it in good condition, or were people living there? Like, kind of give everybody the rundown.
No, that house was vacant for some time. We had a landlord who had it rented out to college students. They wrecked it, moved out. He actually lived in California. And since then, people broke into the house. This was right on Bailey Road in Henrietta. And it was a nice neighborhood. And just the house was just, it had a lot of issues. Went there the first time, there was water in the basement a little bit. And there was just, it was kind of a mess. But after I bought it, I actually got in touch with a contractor who got an exceptionally good deal on it. And he rehabbed it himself and made out like a bandit. So...
Yeah, so fast forward 8 years, and we end up meeting in January. And when did you find the first house?
I was working on that by June.
Okay.
And we are dating only a few months. And
I was a teacher, so I was super busy wrapping up the end of the school year, probably.
At that point, I already had my own house living in, and she's wondering why I'm buying another house, because we were only dating for a few months. And
it's kind of before the whole flip and flop and fixer-upper really took off, so I didn't really, I'm like, what are we doing here?
And now it's all over TV, and everybody's doing it.
Now everybody wants to do it.
But it's not that easy.
It can be. It's a lot of fun, but you need to know what you're doing. So don't jump into it without having some guidelines. That's for sure. So yeah, 2008 we bought our first house and
first house together.
Together, I should say.
Right.
I had my own house actually. I'm still mad that we didn't keep it. I had a cute little house off of Blossom, but it was just more of a nuisance, I guess, at the time.
Either way, but yeah, after that, it was kind of just one of those things that we both kind of fell in love with after a while.
Yeah, and what really changed for me, I would say, because question number 2 I'm looking at here is have we always done rent to own? And the answer is no. So with the first house that we had, we accumulated it was every other year or so we were kind of getting houses, fixing them up. It takes time. We weren't doing the work ourselves. Obviously, we have 2 little kids. They're now 5 and 7, so at the time they were little itty bitties and lots of work. So we got into fixing, flipping, and renting them, and then decided to change our business model a little bit.
Well, we had some tenants who actually wanted to start owning the houses, and that's what kind of gave us the idea of what if we could actually help folks, instead of just renting, they could rent it until they're able to own it. And that's kind of how we put 2 and 2 together. I have a finance background, so I know about the loan process fairly well. I've been doing it for 15 years, and so putting those resources together, and if you need help with your credit, we could help you with that. If you need help with other things too, there's a lot of resources we have on our side that can help you. So with that getting together, it just kind of made sense, and it's working out well.
We love it. It seems like everybody in the house loves it. I didn't do my watch party. I was going to try that real quick here.
But with rent to own, the neat thing about it is there's really not anybody else out there right now who's letting you move into your future house and pay rent until you're able to own it down the road. And we will. So if it's only a few months you need because you're waiting for the bank to clear some things and something's going on with the COVID right now, or if it's maybe you lost your job but you really want to own a home and the bank process is going to be a few years because you're out of work for a little while, there's still ways we can work around that too. So that's the great thing about rent to own. And I see down the road in the future, banks are tightening up quite a bit. I've been checking, a lot of these banks are wanting They've upped what they want as far as credit scores, and they've upped what they want as far as down payment, some of them. I know Chase has gotten a little tighter too. So when that's going to happen down the road, I think rent-to-own's going to be there for you to help those folks who still want to get into a house, who maybe don't quite jump over all those hurdles. We could get you there. So, and you're renting till you get there.
Awesome. Yeah. Again, if you're just tuning in, hi Mom. Feel free to share this video, give us a like and some hearts if you like what you hear. If you have questions, drop them below. We absolutely love interacting. So if you have any questions at all, real estate, rent to own, anything at all really. We kind of were answering this question already, but the big question we'll hear is, why don't people just go to the banks and get that loan? Why do they need to rent to own first? A
lot of times they can't qualify yet. There's something wrong. There's something going on that makes you not qualify for a mortgage. And it could be a number of things. It doesn't have to be just credit. There's lots of folks out there with good credit. I've seen examples of this in the past who I know people were 700s and plus still couldn't get a mortgage because maybe they didn't have enough time on job or a big enough down payment or a number of things that could be going on. A lot of my friends are self-employed. A lot of folks I know that are too. It's a lot harder for them. So you really, really want to look at all the different ways that there is. And, we know, like I said, if you need some help with that, we can do that for you.
Yeah. So is it 32% of people who apply for a home loan get turned down? And even that number isn't including
the people who don't apply.
Because they know they probably won't, or
so
assume they won't.
So the national statistic is that out of 100% of folks who apply for a mortgage, 32% get declined. So you get turned down. So those are the folks who I want to buy a house, I'm going to apply for a mortgage, and 32% get turned down. And the number who don't even apply for a mortgage because they might know that their credit's not there or something else is wrong. So that number is actually a lot more. And the national statistic was that 19% of the population qualify for a mortgage, which means 81% doesn't. And that number, I think, with how many millions of people are unemployed right now around the country or just filed for unemployment. So if you are working for a mortgage and you just got laid off, that's going to set the whole clock back. That's going to start a whole other issue. So once again, with that being the case, that number is a lot lower than I think 19% right now. And I think it's going to be for the next, however more months, but it looks like things are starting to turn around a little bit. For the good news, so. And
we're certainly, that's, I don't know, it drives me, and I know it drives Joe. If the 70% of the population couldn't, 70% population can't get a mortgage but want to?
Well,
roughly?
And that's where you get into, I think it's, like I said, even higher than that, if you think about it.
So we're really passionate right now about, spreading the word, educating people, and we just had even a lady post in our group. We also have a group, not just this page, and she was sharing, the unfortunate situations. Sometimes others kind of try to prey and scam and whatnot, and that's why we're here to educate and explain how we do the process, and really you have to know, the ins and outs of it to be able to do it the right way to make somebody a success story.
Well, and the thing is this too, you really want to deal with somebody who's local, somebody who's here. We live in Rochester, we both lived here our whole lives. We're familiar with the area, and these houses, we've actually done these ourselves, where she shared it in our group, and it was somewhere, I think, and I don't even know what site it was, but it had a different area code. They weren't even in Rochester, and they wanted them to send them money for a key. Yeah. So, you really want to make sure if you're going to do
beware.
Right. You want to make sure you're going to do it with somebody who's local. Second, we do it all with attorneys. Everything's in writing, so there's no, I didn't know this, or we changed this, or no, it's cut and dry. It's very simple. You rent until you buy. Your purchase price is locked in, so we can't change that down the road.
Right.
So it's really that simple.
And we've kind of gone over before, but if you're tuning in for the first time, as far as the coronavirus, we are taking it very seriously. We're doing all the proper precautions. So when we do get another house, same idea. It'll be, no open house. Not a lot of people can't go all together. And everything through the attorneys is, a lot of things are just going through the emails and DocuSign, and really just taking every step and proper measure here to safely, socially distance ourselves.
Well, like you said, it's keeping everybody safe. I think that we were actually kind of already ahead of the curve with how we show houses by having a lockbox on the house that, if we chat on the phone and everything sounds great and you like what you hear, we like what we hear, we could send you over there on your own. So you don't have to worry about meeting folks there, and go when you're good with your family. So there's just a couple questions we ask to make sure. We have you text over a copy of your license. I alert the neighbors so they don't call the police on you. We had one of our houses where were you pregnant when we bought it?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Conrad.
No.
Well, we bought the house. She hadn't seen it yet.
It was a short sale, and Bradley was a baby. That's what it was.
And so the first time she actually goes to see the house, we were supposed to be out grocery shopping that night, and we had a sitter for the kids on our hot date. And we go to
my mom.
We go to look at the house, and then we go in, and I don't think there was even power on. So I have our flashlight on our phones. We're walking through. I'm showing her the house for the first time. We've already closed on it. And we come out, and there's neighbors sitting on their porch, and they're like, what are you guys doing? We're like, oh, we just bought the house. I'm just showing it to her for the first time. She's like, well, we just called the police, and here the police come rolling down the street. It just told me bought it. So we also alert the neighbors you're coming, so that doesn't happen to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope this is working, because this one says interrupted. Having some technical difficulties, it seems. Hopefully, give us a heart if it's still working on your end. Trying to find mine. So the next question was kind of fun. It's not necessarily real estate specific, but how do you like working with your spouse? Yeah, it's frozen here. Hopefully it's working.
I think it's pretty fun.
That's all you have to say?
I think it's pretty awesome. It's just like anything else, you want to make sure that you get along with your coworkers. But this coworker's a little bit different, so I have to make sure I watch what I say.
I would say the trickiest part is finding the balance of home life, work life, and then also, having a happy marriage and being able to really stop working. We love what we do, and so literally the moment I wake up, he's on his phone and he's probably responding to somebody about something or sharing something on one of our sites, and the second we're going to bed, he loves to work, which I've known, and I love it too. So sometimes just being able to put our phones down and connect. So honestly, I kind of look forward to these Thursdays. I do my hair, I put on some lipstick, and even have a little glass of bubbly here to celebrate. And this is kind of our date night. Is that weird? I'm not sure. Hello, coronavirus. You guys are all part of our date night here. Right. In my head, I guess. But I'm enjoying it. I love having him home right now, that's for sure.
It's definitely fun.
But we've been working together on the real estate for years. The responsibilities have gotten a little bit more on my end throughout the years, and I love it. But it's been a transition for sure, and I think obviously the biggest thing is communication, which he's a master.
A master in communication, so that's key.
Guys, give us some likes or hearts. I don't know if anybody can even see this. It's frozen on here, and I hope it's not. If we're just talking to nobody, that would be...
It's working.
Okay, good. All right, so we were going to also just kind of recap a little bit the last three. So I don't know if there's anything you wanted to shout out before we got into those.
Well, the one thing too, if you have any questions, I always say send us a message, send us a comment. We could chat on the side. If you don't want to put anything in the comments, I understand sometimes you get, sometimes I wouldn't want to either, but you want to find out some more details. Send us a message down below or send us a message privately, and we could go over that one-on-one of what you're looking for. And if you have a good down payment and you're looking to get something kind of soon, message us privately, and we can put you on our VIP buyers list, which means if we have a house coming available, we'll give you a first look at it before we put it on all of our other sites like Zillow. Because once you put that on Zillow and Craigslist and all the other Facebook groups and all that, you get so many messages and phone calls and text messages, which is a blessing. But you get a lot, and it's hard to keep track of everything. So if you're on our VIP buyers list, we give you that first few days to take a look at it, just to see if it's something that you're looking for. And then if it is, we don't even put it out there, because once the phones start ringing, they don't stop.
Hence you're always on your phone.
I am. I'm always on my phone. It dies like twice a day.
Yeah, it's okay though. Yeah, so we're going to recap a little bit. We chatted last time too about FSBOs. If you hear that word, it stands for sale by owner. And yes, you can find them online, but honestly, some of the best deals that we may be able to find for you guys would be a simple sign out front of somebody's house. So if you're driving around, you're going to, I don't know, Starbucks, I heard they just opened, or you're going to go visit somebody and drop something at their door because, hello, that's our new normal, and you see a for sale by owner, then stop and take a picture. Obviously, be careful while you're driving. Please pull over. Take a photo. Make sure you get the phone number. It's usually written on the sign clearly, and then the house address and street name.
And a photo of the house.
Yeah.
Just the front.
And just kind of, let us know. And if you are interested in maybe earning a little extra right now, maybe things are really tight for you, give us a message. We can certainly kind of tell you a little bit more in detail about that. But we're always looking for houses, and I'm not out driving as much right now, and neither is he. So if you are, then by all means, use this time and make a little extra.
Right. And we're coming up with a really cool referral program. I don't know if you guys saw the blooper video, but
it went live.
I think I put it out yesterday. It was one of those things where when we finally had the real version, I was looking at all the other mistakes that we made, and there was like a whole ton of them. And I was like, this is too good to pass up. I have to do something with this. So she didn't really know what I was doing. I was tinkering around, and I found a little bit of gold there. Yeah,
that's kind of funny. I don't know. I'm a goofball, whatever.
And we were not planning on making that at all.
No,
that just kind of happened on accident. So that's what happens when you just keep it running. That's what you get.
That's what you get. How are you guys doing? I see everybody watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're also, like we're talking about the FSBOs, we're always looking, the question is, when will you get new houses? Our goal is as many as we can here. So we're looking right now. We were going to kind of give a little tiny update on one.
I got a ranch coming. It looks like it's coming. Well, I'll get into more details. I don't want to do the coming soon thing because you know how that goes, and then people start questioning like crazy, and then it takes a month or two to close, and so. But yeah, it looks like we got a nice ranch coming. If somebody's looking for that.
So yeah, so you have a friend that is looking to get into a smaller home in a nice area. Certainly send them that, talk with your friend first, and then send them that information our way, and we can certainly check in. We've got our buyers list going, so we're always looking to add to that as well. And I know before we were asking what areas. I know Henrietta was popular, and Greece and Irondequoit are usually pretty big ones. So.
Well, we have a few others that we're working on right now. So a few other houses that we're looking at. We try to look at. We're looking at a few a day. So
a few, I feel like
it's even more than that. At times.
My head is spinning. I'm like, what house is this? Who are these people? What is going on?
So, but that's the goal. We're looking at a lot of houses, trying to find the right one that will work for rent to own. Sometimes if you're looking for something and you live a little further out there, we're looking out there too. So if it's not just in the Rochester area and you want something a little bit more rural, we're expanding our horizons to start looking out in that neck of the woods too. So if you live kind of further out there or looking for something a little out of the city, or maybe it's way out of the city, we could find something too. So we're also looking. So, and I think I might have one we're working on there too, but I'm not trying to spoil that yet.
Yeah, well, that one's under wraps, so we're not sure exactly. Oh goodness, now Insta's active. So with that, also not just for sale by owners, but maybe somebody who's inherited a house. Sometimes that happens, or maybe somebody who's moved and they're still making payments on a house. There's several different ways that we could try to help people out here. So if you just know someone who's like, I don't know what to do with this house, but send them our way.
Right. Because the goal is for us, I would say at this point, if we could buy 2 to 4 houses a month, we have more than enough folks looking for them.
Yeah.
For sure. We definitely do. We could 2 to 4 houses. I would like to do more, but I'm not trying to get to 7, 8 yet. I want to.
Maybe once schools open back up and we aren't homeschooling while we're trying to.
Well, yes, there's that too.
Literally doing like a teacher conference today with Bradley's preschool teacher and trying to start a seminar and trying to make breakfasts. I don't know. Everybody's just doing their best. So
it's a lot.
Awesome. Yes, if you're interested, by all means, definitely PM us if we haven't chatted before. As always, the biggest thing to have is a down payment, the desire to own a home, because if you don't have that, it takes a lot to own a house. If you own one, you know.
But we've had a lot of folks too, and this is where I think where she's getting at is we've had some folks before in the past say, I have a good down payment, but I only want to live there for like 2 years, and I don't know if I want to buy, I don't know if I'm, I don't blame you. Do what you need to do, but I don't know. I want to make sure that you can actually own this house, and that's our goal. So making sure, like she just said, is having that desire to own a home, decent down payment. Don't worry about the credit. Everything else we can get fixed. But until then, like I said, this could get done.
Yeah. How many people think he should help with credit? If you know my husband and his ability to magically work numbers, which I think both kids have inherited, by the way, which I'm so excited about. But yeah, give me some likes and hearts for that. I think Joe and he's got this, I don't know, he's worked with so many people through the last 15 years.
Right.
Knowing credit inside and out. He, I think, would be awesome at kind of like a credit.
Well, that's why I've had a lot of folks ask me if I was a credit coach or if I would consider doing that. And
I consider you a guru at this point.
It's more than a coach. I've been doing it for 15 years, and I've pulled hundreds of thousands of credit applications, and same thing with auto loans, and I've done a bunch of mortgages, so I know the process fairly well. And I know credit very well. I know how to get things turned around, how to get things fixed on your credit, how to get things disputed if there's issues with credit. That's one thing that I'm very good at. So maybe I start doing that credit coaching. I've thought about it, but
yeah. So I have a question. Let's say you have some student loan debt. You've got let's say you're a nurse right now or a doctor even, and your credit is a little banged up, and you've got a lot of debt going on. But you have a good sized down payment. So let's say your credit was kind of like a not terrible but not great.
Well, so say for an example, you're a 550 credit score.
Okay.
It's, you're in the non-prime category. But once again, it depends on what's getting you there. And it depends on what it is to get you fixed to get you on the way back up. The goal is to find somebody who has maybe had a little blip in their credit and is on the way back up. If you've had a history of maybe some bad luck or some unfortunate events happen with car loans or student loans or credit cards or things like that, there's ways to work around that too. But if you've had some credit issues, there's a lot of ways to fix that too. Once a long time ago, I had some credit issues. Myself, got into the car business, got around a lot of great people who know credit. Once you're in that field, that's what you do. And then after doing that for 19 years, you really understand credit and how important it is. And then doing finance for 15 years of that, I've got it down. I've definitely got it down. And I've seen all types of scenarios that you couldn't believe. So with that being the case, I know credit, and if you have issues with credit, we know the fix. I've helped a lot of people over the years, and had their kids come into my office, and they're like, you need to listen to this man because he's helped the parents. So if you need help with credit, things like that, reach out, and I'd love to help you.
So do you think like 2 years is long enough for somebody to really turn around their credit?
So that's a trick question. It could be longer, it could be a whole lot sooner. Okay. It really all depends on what is going on. So for an example, you might have somebody who's a 500 credit score and they've only had 2 credit cards, and maybe they charged them off, and that's all they really had. You could be a 500 credit score and really not be horrible, but maybe because you haven't had a big history, you've only had a couple small things and those were maybe not great, that can make you a really low score. So to get that turned around, a couple things, but you could have that turned around in 2 years or much less. Now, if you've had somebody who's had maybe a bankruptcy, those are in your credit for quite a long time. You're talking 10 years.
So if you had a bankruptcy, can you not get a mortgage within those 10 years?
You can. Mm-hmm. You do not have to wait 10 years. After the bankruptcy's been discharged, depends on the banks, but I think it's a few years
Aren't
after.
there different types of bankruptcies too? Like
there is. This is Chapter 7 and you're 13. So one is a payment where they're going to repay it back over a series of usually 5 years, and then Chapter 7 is usually like a couple months, and they just charge it off.
It seems like those are rare cases, but I was just curious.
They happen. No, they happen. And once again, somebody loses a job, you have a death in the family. A lot of times you'll have something bad happen to good people, and it could cause that to happen. And if that does happen, there's definitely ways to rebuild. Now, if you've had 5 bankruptcies, or I don't know if that's possible, but if you've had a series of bad luck.
Mm-hmm. Well, as I think about, again, like right now, the time that we're living in, people are going to be struggling a little bit, or a lot of it. So it's just something to know that you can work through. You're going to get out of this. It's not the end.
That's the thing about, I'm sorry to interrupt,
No,
that's the thing about credit. Give it time, do a couple small good things for it, and it could rebound. And that's what's great about rent to own, is we give you that time to get that done while you're living in your future home. So that's the cool thing about rent to own. That's why we dig doing it and helping folks out.
So we need more houses, guys. If you didn't catch our blooper video, head on over to our Facebook page if you're watching from one of our watch parties or Instagram. It's all over. Jenn Buys 585 is our buying page. So if you know somebody that might be wanting to sell their house, just shoot them that. We're always looking for those referrals.
And 585 Rent to Own is our selling site, where if you're looking to buy a home, or if you want to do something rent to own, that's what we specialize in. So once again, if you maybe have that desire to own a home but can't quite get that mortgage yet, come see us, and we can put you in a beautiful home now. Well, not right now, because the last one sold, but we got more coming.
So we need to buy more.
But we can put you in a beautiful home when we have them available, but they do go quick.
Yeah.
So if you got some money saved, get a hold of us now, get on our VIP buyers list, and when they first come out, you'll see them before everybody else.
Absolutely.
So.
And our time, I believe, is coming to a close. I wanted to wish all the mamas out there Happy Mother's Day.
Yep, Happy Mother's Day.
And stay warm as we get blasted with the snow.
And if you've got more questions, you know anybody who's looking to sell a house, you can get paid. But if you have anything that you need to send us some questions about credit or about rent to own, send us a message, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yes, and I just want to answer the Instagram question. Should I call that as well with the credit repair? Absolutely. I'll contact with you or connect with you right after here. I'll get off of the live video. And thanks again, everybody, for tuning in.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.
Have a great day.